Hi everybody, how y'all doing? A viewer had asked me how to relieve some lower back pain using massage. And I'm going to give some do's and don'ts here. As always, use your best discretion, common sense, read up on it, do some research. You can even talk to a practitioner or their doctor if you're wanting to see that some of your ideas that you might have would be truly helpful. A lot of massage therapists and physical therapists will have sessions with the person if they're wanting to learn something. So sometimes you can pick those up. You can also go to learning annexes, and sometimes they'll have how to do massage in casual setting at home kind of thing. So I'm going to give you some easy do's and don'ts, and these are just for the low back. So one of the first things is positioning, because the legs cannot be flat. When the legs are flat, they'll stretch the muscles of the leg, and then that'll go all the way up to the buttocks. And basically, that'll pull on the low back itself, and you can't work on a muscle that's stretched. You can't relax a muscle that's stretched away, contracting. So you need to lift the feet so that they're high up, the knee is bent, and you just throw a couple pillows underneath the ankles there. It should lift it high enough, well high enough. Now, you're going to get more ability to control the depth of the movements if you work on a flat surface like the floor, if you're comfortable getting down onto the floor. If you're not, or if the person doesn't want to lie on the floor either, working on a bed is acceptable. But oddly, working on a dining room table can sometimes be preferable, because it's high enough for the person who's doing it to not have to hover and bend over, and it's easy, oddly enough, for the person receiving the massage to just kind of hop on the table. Now, when you don't have a massage table to get onto, what do you do with the face? Because the neck's going to turn. And what you're going to want to do is, if you think of from the spine to the hip, left or right, whichever side from that direction that the person you're working on, let's say the left side, that person should turn their head to the left, and then their right hand goes up over their head, and their left hand goes down behind. Okay, they can even have their hand on their forehead like that, though they're turned this way. And then when you're working on the other side, you do the opposite, unless you want to get a towel and kind of roll it up into a a horseshoe shape, and then they can kind of snuggle their face down and still be able to breathe and stuff. This area shouldn't take any more than 10 to 15 minutes. Don't stay on it any longer than 20. Basically, because you're going to become irritating to the area. The nerves are going to be overwrought. They're already bothered, which is why they're in pain, so you don't want to overstimulate. You can get to that and you won't even know you're doing it, because the person is in so much pain they feel the relief, but then they'll be sore the next day. So that's no good either. If you can have them to take an Epsom salt bath before you're trying any massage to do, it's good, because Epsom salt baths relieve a lot of pain too. 1 cup to the hottest water that you can take. Soak no more than 10 minutes. Make sure that you wash off all that salt. It's very drying to the skin. And then wrap up as warm as you can until the heat dissipates off your skin, and then you can get into your pajamas. So you're having only to expose the area, from the top of where the bottom starts, and then up to the bottom rib. Okay, so that's the only flesh that needs to be visible, is that which you're touching. Alright, now when I mentioned the fact that if you're using a dining room table, it's going to afford the opportunity for the person giving the massage to not have to hover and bend. One of the most important things is that as you stand there and you're doing the work that you're doing, if there's any tension in you from the way that you're standing, the way that your shoulders are, if you're going to hunch your shoulders up, if you're hovering over, all that is going to come through your arms and out your hands. And they're going to get actually more stressed because you're straining, than if you're relaxed. So you have to find a stance that keeps you open and upright and comfortable so that you're able to freely move your arms, and it's of no impediment with your shoulders. Your elbows aren't like in weird positions, your head isn't tucked, it's just forward, really. Okay, you want to find out from the person if one side is more sore than the other. The less sore side is the one you want to begin with first. Okay. Take both hands and put them on that one side to the spine. Hands always are on the same side. Don't have one hand here and one hand on the other side. No. Both hands on one. Okay. And simply start by placing the hands so that the warmth and the weight of your hand begins to conform to the area underneath. Okay. You're going to let your hands feel really soft and heavy. So you're not placing them like this. You're not placing them like this. You're placing them like this, so that there is a weight and a heaviness to the contact that's not pushing at all, but it gives the sensation of I can't describe it. It would take me too long. So it's not loose fish like a handshake, and it's not like too stiff, and it's sort of in between the two. And what you're doing with that first contact is you're getting used to how the muscles feel underneath your hands, and they're getting used to the warmth of your hand. You're going to start at the furthest away, and then you're going to be moving the hands up. Now, please use powder, not oil, not lotion, okay? If you use anything. If they've dried enough, well off from the Epsom pump bath, because remember, you're only going to be doing this 10-15 minutes, so it's not going to really, you won't really be needing any kind of a medium. So you've made that first contact, and then you can glide your hands upward, and you can lock your thumbs like that way, if you want to, and you're gliding. And when you're doing that, you are not pushing down, and you're not pushing forward, because if you push forward, it'll bring up your shoulders. You're just maintaining contact as you lift. You don't have to lock your hands, though. You can just place them side by side, and then once both hands get to the top, you're gonna pull one down, and then you're gonna start taxing one and then the other. Okay, so one goes up and then the other travels, and it's one of those where the person shouldn't be able to feel the difference between one hand to the other. This hand that's like this is open fingers, never closed. Okay, this one that's like this is the same, never closed. So one goes up and one goes up. Okay, so if they were on the back at the same time, they would look like they were doing this, but they're going to be traveling at different times. So one's going this and one's going this. Okay, in succession, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And you can try to do it in a heartbeat. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, that's the rhythm, right? Then you'll switch to another movement. And I would suggest something that would draw the hands down across the hip, okay? And have, again, one following the other, one following the other. Then go back to the first movement, okay? And you'll maintain that. And then wherever it was that the top of your hands was when the bottom portion was touching the bottom of that exposed area, you'll move up one hand's distance, and then you'll go from there and go across, there and across, and then you'll do the vertical one again. And then it'll probably be just 3 swipes up, and then in between each one, up and up, up and up and up. So you're basically doing one vertical set and then one horizontal set, and alternating the vertical and the horizontal. Okay. Then you're going to travel yourself around to the other side, or the person's going to turn, or whatever it is, and you're going to readjust their feet and their head, and everything's fine. And you'll do the same thing again. Then for the very, very end, take one hand directly to the side of the spine, and you'll kind of march your hands up, keeping in contact, and then you can kind of do little swooping things and stop. Do not, under any circumstances, knead or squish or punch or anything. No thumbs, no thumbs, no thumbs, okay? Save you, save them. Okay. If you have a bajillion questions, I'd rather answer those later. But instead of rather telling you all of the reasons why I don't do this, because I want you to just try it and see what it's like, the benefit, and you'll be quite much more surprised that you don't have to use any rolling or kneading or all of this business. It's more stressful to the body, and if you're kind of going, well, but so and so likes to feel a really deep muscle massage. Actually, no. When you were a kid and someone gave you a noogie, how comfortable were you? Okay, so the body is going to squeeze up their muscles against any kind of pressure like this, okay? So you're not relaxing anybody, all right? The body doesn't know the difference of, I'm going to do a deep tissue massage and a noogie, okay? So don't bother. Keep your hands soft and tracing the shape of the body beneath you. Okay? So if you have any more questions, I'd be happy to answer. Make sure that you don't ever touch someone's spine if they have, super extraneous things, like if they've got a slipped disc or, some old kind of injury. You want to make sure that, it's just general tension and not some serious thing. And if they want to do some exercise instead of get massaged, have them roll over one of those large exercise balls, their stomachs on it, and have them stretch out their arms and their legs and balance themselves between all 4. Then, after they've done that, bring their legs together and do, basically it's a version of a Roman chair sit-up. And they'll help strengthen their back so that maybe the next day it won't be that way. So tell me all how it works to you. I'd really like to hear it, and wish you all blessings and peace. Best of health to you.